welcome to Film Freaks. This is Justin Llewellyn,
Letty Williams.
and today Eddie is going to be doing another solo review. This time of a film, a little known indie film that came out a couple months ago that he decided to finally catch up with, and that's going to be Booksmart.
Yeah, so Booksmart is a 2019 coming of age comedy. It's directed by Olivia Wilde, who's a big time actress. She starred in many films, and while she's directed some like side projects and stuff, this is her first major film debut. And she's actually engaged to Jason Sudeikis, who also stars in this film. And the film also stars Caitlin Dever, uh, Benny Feldstein, who's the sister of Jonah Hill, Diana Silvers, she's the girl from Ma, the main girl, and Skylar Gaisodono or something like that. I can't pronounce his last name, and many other actresses, and actors I've seen in like other films that are becoming big. And this is a coming of age story, talk about two girls who uh, put pretty much all fun aside and studied hard to get into good colleges. And upon finding out that a lot of the kids who pretty much fucked off and partied while attending school got in the same colleges, these girls realized that they've wasted all their years away. So basically, the whole premise is them saying, "All right, fuck it, let's have one wild ass night to remember." And it's also because the girls who were best friends since birth, they're going to be going separate ways. One's going to go to college in Yale, and the other one is going to go overseas to help in Africa. And basically, they want to have one wild night, and their goal is to get to this one big party. Um, this popular jock guy who's throwing this massive party, and Beanie Feldstein's character has a crush on him. Um, and pretty much that's the plot. And if you know that we've kind of had the same plot with another film we watched this year called Good Boys, which was the same premise, getting to a party. And if you want to watch our review on that, we tore that shit to shreds because that one was fucking pathetic comedy. But anyways, when I saw the trailers of this film, I will say that it looked a lot better than Good Boys. But it wasn't just grab me still. I don't know what it was. I think one of the trailers out of the three trailers they showed, one of them kind of felt like it was going to be like an SJW kind of political kind of hinting that a little bit. So that kind of worried me because I really don't want to get into like shit like that. I don't like watching political motivated movies. So kind of avoided it, and I think Justin and I were busy, and we just never got to it. And I will say that upon watching the film, I was actually found this film to be pretty good. Um, I will say that the from what we got in the trailers to what we got in the movie was quite different because I actually was going into this thinking it was going to be a raunchy comedy, kind of like Good Boys or Superbad. Believe it or not, it's not. It's not that raunchy. It's a kind of a self-contained comedy. It pays more attention while there is funny shit that happens in this film. It pays more attention towards its friendship and more serious tone. But there's a lot of comedies, mostly in the film. And get into my pros, I will say that the chemistry with Caitlin Dever and Benny Feldstein, I thought were perfect. I was a little worried with Benny Feldstein at first because I've never really watched her in anything. She always played in the background type of roles. Like I think she was in Neighbors 2 sorority
Yeah,
role,
she
where she was
was.
kind of in the background. Yeah, and I was hoping she wasn't gonna be like a Rebel Wilson type in this film. Believe it or not, I actually liked her in this. She came off as very genuine. She was funny. She doesn't try too hard. It wasn't over the top like a lot of them raunchy comedies are, and people like Amy Schumer and Rebel Wilson are very over the top. This I found Beanie Feldstein to be very genuine. I enjoyed her performance, but her and Caitlin Dever had great chemistry in this movie. I will say on the story aspect of them going, they go on this big journey where they go, getting dilemmas. I will say that it doesn't really pay too much on the dilemma part because there wasn't much dilemma they went through other than showing up at wrong places. But I still enjoyed the friendship journey, and that's what it really wants you to focus on. And I actually kind of like that. I'd rather probably have that than raunchy comedy because we get enough raunchy comedies as it is. So I enjoyed that whole friendship because there's like this thing going on where their goal is to get this party because Beanie Feldstein's character, she has a crush on the guy who's throwing the major party, and her friend Caitlin Dever, the shorter girl, skinnier girl, she she's kind of trying to come out as gay, what she is, and there's a girl going to that party who she has a crush on, and they found out they're going to all be at the party, so they will really want to go there and pretty much express their love for both of them have their own journeys to try to get with those two, and so yeah, the story is pretty good. I will say that while there ain't a lot of things that are terribly funny in this film, there were two parts that had me fucking laughing. I have like one particular had me fucking laughing so hard, and it had to do with the scene where Jason Sudeikis is their principal, and basically there's a scene where they have to go into find a way there. They don't have a car. None of them both have cars, so they're trying to get throughout the movie they're trying to get rides around, trying to get into people's trying to get them to the party, and they call Uber. And Jason Sudeikis ends up being the Uber driver, and they didn't realize that's their principal because he plays the principal in the movie. And his Uber is dressed up kind of like the way he has it decorated in the back. It's almost like he's the kind of Uber driver that picks up people and they can kind of get kind of kinky in the back. So we get this awkward part where he picks them up and they're looking at their principal who's a driver, and it's kind of like a sex theme ish going on in the back, and they're having to sit in the back, and it comes off as awkward and fucking funny because he's like, "Oh, I have to do this as a side project. Principals and teachers, we don't make much these days." So these girls have like this bucket list of shit they've never done because you got to think they're goody two shoes and they want to go all out and do go fucking hardcore. That one of their bucket lists is they want to look at porn, and they were watching. They look it up on their phone with their headphones, and their headphones break, and something happens to where the phone actually connects to the principal's Bluetooth to his car, and they're watching the porn, and then next thing you know, he turns that up. He goes, "Here, I got you, girls. You can listen on here." And all you hear is, "Oh yes, that's the spot." That shit had me fucking rolling. Oh my god, that shit was. The way the timing was just came out perfect. And looking at Jason's face was like fucking. Oh my god, it was priceless. Another funny scene I did laugh at was kind of like a little offset segment where the two girls are actually drugged, and they get into this bizarre scene where they turn into Barbie dolls. And this scene's funny because they're sitting there tripping out and they turn into Barbie dolls and they undress themselves. And you know how Barbies are, don't have privates or anything, but they have like boobs but no nipples. And they're like sitting there in the mirror and goes, "Oh fuck, where's my nipples? I don't know, where's my asshole? I can't shit now." I mean, this scene was fucking hilarious. And there's a offset scene where they're leaving the party and they're still drugged up and they're walking like Barbie dolls out the door, and these people are just like looking at them like, "What the fuck?" Yeah, there's some pretty fucking funny shit in this film, and that's what I liked about this film. It wasn't trying to be over the top on the comedy. It just blended so well. It flowed so well with it. It wasn't tried too hard. I laughed at that scene. Um, in the end, you get, every film has that dilemma where you pretty much, you what you expect, where, the main character's probably getting in a fight, and, they see something when they get to the party and they actually get to, try to get with the ones they loved. Something happens and it kind of causes kind of quite a bit of emotional scene. Um, and it was pretty sad, but it comes off like later on it comes back tenfold, and I mean, these girls, like, it was happy to see the ending, how it ended, with that dilemma. But in the film also you get like these side characters, which I'm gonna get in my pros and cons a little bit on this. You know how these high school movies are, where they get every high school film has got bullies. That one bully bitch that's in the cheerleader, she's a cheerleader, she's the popular girl in school. And while a lot of the girls in here are like that towards them because they're dorks, um, instead of just leaving them villains, I did like how towards the end they, like, each person had their closure. Like, there's this one cheerleader that's really mean to Beanie Feldstein's character, and after the dilemma shit that happens, she's walking, and the cheerleader girl, picks her up and expresses her feelings towards her and saying, I'm fake, basically telling her why she's the way she is. And I actually kind of like that. Um, so that was pretty cool. And
Yeah.
um, yeah, what can I say? I mean, there ain't much more I can get into my pros, so I'll get into my cons. Um, Now, I will say that, like I said earlier, there was two characters that I uh it's a mixed bag right here, because while these two characters I'm about to bring up were fucking annoying as shit, they did have a good payoff with them, and I will respect that. So now in my cons, I will say these two characters, and they play a rich people. Like, there's a boy and a girl, and there's this guy who's kind of like he acts like Malibu's most wanted. The way he was overtopping it kind of fucking bothered me. I found him fucking annoying as shit. And that's the guy that I just said earlier. His name is Skylar Geisa Soto, or whatever his name is. I've seen him in other stuff as a little kid, but he's a lot older now. And he annoyed me at first, but when the seriousness comes later on in the second half, I felt like he had a good payoff. Then there's this girl in the film that pretty much follows him around. It's not his girlfriend per se, but she's rich too, and she starts off as like the druggy type prep bitch, and she's fucking bizarre as shit. And I felt like her being the way she played, being high and drunk and tripping on drugs, I found her quite annoying in majority of the film. But then she also had a sad story to who she was, and it paid off in the end as well. So I'm just saying, they both annoyed me for about half the movie. And not only that, I don't get, like, it's weird how, like, in these people, like especially that druggy girl, throughout the whole, like, they show up at different parties thinking they went to the right one, and they didn't. And there's this, like, scene where that girl that does drugs, like, suddenly spawns at every fucking place they're at, and I really didn't get what they were doing with that at all. It came off as like that's kind of weird, because you were just doing this and then you're here. It makes no sense.
Did it
Um,
throw the editing off?
yeah, it kind of was weird. It was like that character just spawned at every party and just abruptly showed up. Because in the film, there's other kids throughout the story that trying to throw their own parties, and it's like in the end they were all at this party. I'm like, I was kind of confused a little bit. I was like, okay, I don't get why we're doing this. So that was an issue. Um, I guess another con I could say is the film does come out as very predictable, because, I mean, how many of these films, high school kids go on a wild goose chase films have we seen? They pretty much all almost got the same plot. And another thing I did have a issue with, while I said I didn't care, I'm glad I didn't do the whole raunchiness part, which I'm glad, because I felt Good Boys was over the top, not going to fucking happen. And it just really took me out of that movie. This one, I was still a little bit underwhelmed with the journey. You know how like people get in dilemmas, like a movie about dilemmas where they're just going through fucking like so much shit. This one they don't really go through much. It was pretty much they get to the party quite fast, and you get a lot of scenes with the party, and yeah, that was an issue. But there's is also another scene. This isn't really a pro or con. I wanted to bring up earlier. The girl that plays the main chick in a mall called Diana Silvers. There's this scene like you get a lot where she has like this hatred for Caitlin Dever, and there's a reason why, and I would say probably a pro. There's a reason why, and it's got something to do with sexuality and stuff. But other than that, I don't want to keep talking, rambling about any more of the film. I will say I was quite surprised about this film. And with that being said, I'm going to give this film a compelling grade on the Film Freaks meter.
Fair enough. Yeah, I've been anxious to watch it for myself for a while because from the trailers, it kind of looked like the female version of pretty much Superbad because both that and Good Boys, I noticed that they use a similar plot.
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that because Beanie Feldstein, yes, she's the sister of Jonah Hill, but I can't believe how fucking bad they look like. Like seriously, their manners on how she acted on some scenes in this. Oh my god, it's like watching Jonah Hill wearing a fucking wig. It is crazy how look-alike they are. I just could not stop looking at her and say, "Oh my god, Jonah Hill, Jonah Hill."
Yeah.
So
it was like it was like they were taking an element of like a similar plot with that, but also making it a more like grounded coming of age type story, if that makes sense. From what I've heard,
I will tell you right now, aside from its comedy, some funny scenes here and there, it's more of a coming of age and it's more of a friendship movie. Believe it or not, it's really not raunchy at all. It's very self-contained.
Yeah, and it's really interesting to see that because that Olivia Wilde, who was in a lot of comedies, she decided to do her first debut, and she really pulled it off.
Yeah, I like I said, I enjoyed the movie. I was actually surprised because the trailers. I will really believe it or not. Like I said, I thought it was going to be better than Good Boys, but I still didn't think it was clicking me because it didn't seem like my type of film, and I'm kind of glad I watched it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out eventually because I do like these type of indie type comedies that are very breakthrough that that show a lot of like heart and a lot of things besides just your typical comedy. So
yeah, it shows a lot of heart, which I enjoyed. And I tell you right now, Olivia Wilde, while she kept the raunchiness to a very bare minimum, and she saved them for like good scenes, and that was a smart idea. And her direction to not follow the same suit of everybody who wants to make the raunchiest comedy. Everybody's like trying to make the most grotesque shit. While I am a big fan of raunchy comedies, I just feel like they're really overdosing on it these days, and they're really leaving the non-reality. They're leaving the reality out of it. Be honest with you, because a lot of shit in Good Boys would not fucking happen. It was over the top. And that's what kills a lot of raunchy comedies today. I'm still a big raunchy comedy fan. I'm glad that Olivia Wilde went a different direction.
Yeah, that's what I was hearing too, and I'll definitely check it out whenever I get the chance to. So for those of you who have also seen Booksmart, let us know in the comments below what you thought about it. And if you like what you see here, you can feel free to like and subscribe to our channel. And check out some of our other reviews here and our website at filmfreaks.com. And we'll be seeing you in our next review. We'll see you later.